What causes someone to become imbalanced? Do you know? Continue watching to hear our discussion. So, what causes someone to be imbalanced? We're going to start with the emotions. Our emotions
Well, first, what do you mean by imbalanced?
where you can feel that you are not staying centered and evenly happy, where maybe you're going from an extreme or going to an extreme, like being really sad or angry, or
Like
maybe
you feel out of sorts,
you can feel out of sorts, yes.
but that's not what imbalance is. Like feeling out of sorts. I mean, different ways, but you feel out of
Right,
sorts. You don't
right.
feel like yourself.
Yes,
Okay.
I guess.
Okay, so now that you've clarified what imbalance is, now go ahead and tell us if you don't mind.
So, what are some things that can cause us to become imbalanced?
That's correct.
Okay.
That would cause it to feel out of sorts. How about that?
Okay, it could be you heard something sad, or maybe a situation occurred and you felt angry, frustrated, any kind of emotion that's like that, strong or non-beneficial is what we usually say. That could cause you to become imbalanced, which
Okay.
means, of course, at that point you won't feel like yourself.
Okay, should I end the video now? Yeah. The question
No,
is what causes
because-
someone to be imbalanced?
Yes, because that's part of it, and then it could be something that happens to you physically.
Oh,
Maybe you're
Right.
walking and all of a sudden you stub your toe, and why did that happen? But then it throws you off physically because now your toe is hurting, so you're compensating. So physically you're out of balance.
so some pain.
There's some pain there.
Okay.
But that can also affect your emotions, and it could affect your thoughts.
Okay.
Then there's also spiritual imbalance.
All right.
And with spiritual imbalance, that might be the individual who, felt they really knew something, and then all of a sudden a topic came up and they're like, oh, wait, and they start thinking differently, which could have them questioning what they already felt they knew. So that could cause an imbalance in someone.
You talking about yourself? You gotta
That
sound
happened
like
to me a
yourself.
lot. Had a lot of that happen to me.
So when you said spiritual imbalance, that's not what I expected.
Oh.
Just so you know, I thought you were going to talk about like an attachment. That's what I thought you were
Well,
going to say.
those happen because, of course, with all these imbalances, whether it be physical, mental, emotional, because even mentally you could be thinking something and then, you become out of balance because what you're thinking about, whether it be something political or maybe a history that you thought you knew, and then it's like, wait a second, that's different than what I've learned or what I expected. So that could throw you off with your mental state. But anyway, any of those 4 ways that you become out of balance can get you to a point where your energy is low or your frequency is low, and then you can get the possessions or attachments.
Right, you just said 4 ways. What 4 ways are you talking
Mental, emotional, physical, spiritual.
about? Oh, okay.
I think you
You
become
want to go
imbalanced on
through,
any one
yeah,
of those levels.
you went through that so quickly. I missed that. So how about if you get an example of each one?
Well, I've been
Please?
doing that, sort of.
Well,
Okay.
I missed it. I apologize for being so slow with my thought process. I missed that whole thing.
Mental. Using myself as an example, with history, what I was taught in school, and then when I would bring it home, and my dad would be like, no, your history book is inaccurate, and then he'd pull out his history books, which were even older than the one I was using from school, and he'd be like, this happened, and then this is what I experienced, and I'd be like, so of course, I'm thinking now, are my teachers lying to me? That's what I went through. as
So
a kid.
was your book written by a black man and your dad's by a white man or something?
Wow! Bringing race into this now. Oh my goodness. That could cause an imbalance too. Boy, I don't know. I think I should get a scale to continue weighing these
The one at
things.
school was written by a minority group. I don't know.
I have no idea. All I can tell you is that my dad always did his own fact checking,
I
you know, to
know.
make sure
He
that
was good at it too.
he was very
Very
good,
good.
very
Yeah,
good.
very
And
good.
so, and that to me mentally would throw me off, you know. So that's mental. Emotional. Well, emotionally, it could be maybe a death in the family, or maybe you heard sad news about some kid, you know, getting hurt.
So
you know,
like you said, that you heard sad news.
Mm-hmm.
But remember, something is only sad based on your perspective.
yes, the way you
So we should
interpret
clarify
it.
that too.
Yes, so if you interpret something as being sad,
Right.
or allowing something to frustrate you or allow you to make you angry, that's when the emotional imbalance takes place. Mental, emotional. Spiritual. For me, having been raised Catholic and having a set format in my mind of how life should be and how the things happened in the Bible, and then learning that that's not exactly the way things really did happen, and it didn't really coincide with history, all these different things, that left me questioning, well, you know, am I really connecting with God? Is there a God? So that created some spiritual turmoil for me at one point in
Please
my
give me an
life.
example. What do you mean it doesn't match up with history or whatever it was you said earlier?
Well, say for instance, the one that really got me questioning my spirituality, my religious upbringing, was when a friend of mine started, you know, telling me all about what she had learned in school, and then asking me, you know,
Like what though? Would you give
I'm
me?
about to get there.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Saying how is it that only the Catholics will be saved? You know, and I said, well, it's not just the Catholics will be saved. She said, but you just told me that only people who have been baptized and are the ones who can enter the gates of heaven. So what about all these people like Hindus and Buddhists and Muslims and people who don't even have a religion? How are they going to get to heaven if they haven't been baptized?
Ah, good question.
Yes.
What was your response to that, Hotshot?
I didn't have one. That's where spiritually I was like, whoa, okay, wait, whole new door opening here. I'm going to have to go into this door and start exploring. And that's when I started learning about different religions and started my path in life. So that caused spiritual imbalance for me because it really threw me off. And then, of course, physical. Physical, I used to have many little mishaps in the kitchen. Be chopping up something, and I guess I mistook my finger maybe for a carrot, or I don't know, but I'd always end up cutting myself or getting burned. So that, of course, would throw you off because now you have that injury on your hand, and if you get salt in it, it burns, and it would throw me off. Physically, I allowed it to. So
That's
those
called
are the
learning how to cook.
are using knives that aren't that sharp.
Thank God.
You know, or
You might
getting
have
up.
lost a finger.
Getting up in the middle of the night, I'm sure a lot of parents can relate to this, and going to get a crying baby, and all of a sudden, you like I mentioned earlier, you stub your toe, or you step on a Lego, or you toy of some kind, and you get hurt. But those physical things can throw you off, throw you out of balance.
Okay, so that's what you mean by. See, I guess I didn't understand the question when you.
What question? The
About
first question about
what
what
gets
causes
somebody-
someone to be imbalanced?
Right, to be imbalanced, right.
These are all causes,
Right.
but then the effects, it can lower your frequency, and then, as you said, the attachments, possessions can come.
Okay, so let's go back to what causes imbalance. What about if someone consumes alcohol?
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yes, that would cause an imbalance in the body for sure, because now you're not going to be completely in control of all your faculties, and it's physically affecting you. Same thing with tobacco, the nicotine.
How does that get someone imbalanced?
Well, with the nicotine itself has its own entity, so when you're taking that into your body, any kind of smoke, I would think, will throw the body off in some way because it's not normally smelling smoke or taking in smoke. And so it affects the lungs. And then it affects the rest of the body from there.
So that's the physical aspect.
Physical aspect, right.
Drugs.
Yes, about to say drugs,
I mean,
whether they
it doesn't have to be
prescribed or over the counter, you know, pop a couple, what do they call them, Tylenol, acetaminophen, just to get rid of some pain. That could throw you out of balance.
So I know that we've encountered individuals or worked with individuals where they tell us that, or inform us that their doctors have prescribed certain medications for them, but when they take their medications, then the medications have negative side effects. Right?
Well, we've even had, like with myself, when I used to take different kinds of supplements and found out that the supplements were causing me to feel one way or another. They were non-beneficial for me, even though they were told to be very good and helpful for me.
And those are supplements.
And those are supplements.
How about this one? I only thought about this because of something that you had done.
Oh no.
Where we went to the store and then you saw this pure cocoa, was it? Like cocoa nibs?
Oh, cocoa nibs, cacao nibs.
Cacao, okay. And you were very excited about that because
Yes.
it was 100% cacao.
It's supposed to be pure, just, you know, the cut up
Well, they were pure, weren't
ground, yes, it's just the ground cocoa bean, you know, cut up cocoa bean chips. And I thought, oh, this is supposed to be really good for you. It's supposed to have all these antioxidants and all this rich in minerals and vitamins. And then I ate some, and whoa, felt like I was going to another planet.
You went to heaven.
I don't know where I went. But what's that word people use, tripping? I felt like I was having an out-of-body experience because of all the caffeine that was inside of these cacao nibs that I had eaten. And my body does not like caffeine at all.
Oh, so there goes another one.
Caffeine.
That's something.
I was about to bring that one up. Yes.
So foods.
Foods.
And people would think about food as something that could get you to be off balance or imbalanced, but foods do.
Yes, and there is there are these gluten-free wafers made with milk chocolate, and I enjoy them.
Real milk chocolate.
Real
too.
milk chocolate, right? And I noticed a couple years ago when I would eat them, I would get itchy spots on the inner elbows. And I thought, oh, this is interesting. So I started paying attention to it, and when I didn't eat those, I didn't have the itching. So now, fast forward a couple years, and my husband recently bought some, and I started to eat them. The very next day, I didn't have any itching, but the second toe on each foot was sore at the very tip. And it's been gone ever since. I'm afraid to try the wafers again because that was very painful and affected me physically. Where it was, you know, whenever I took a step, it hurt. So.
And the only reason why we would buy those wafers is because they're made with rice, right?
Right.
And it's no natural flavors. It's all really good chocolate.
So there's
because you like chocolate, we buy that one because it's supposed to be rice, chocolate,
some sugar.
a little bit of sugar.
I don't remember what
and it's
all
a
the
real
other
sugar.
ingredients are, right? But they're very basic to us, basic and simple ingredients, no
That's right.
chemicals. So it baffled me. So now testing to see what it was that caused it.
So those are different ways that someone can be imbalanced. That's a
Or
lot
what
of
could
ways,
cause
actually.
imbalance.
Loud noises, probably.
Oh, yes, loud noises for sure for me. Still don't like loud noises. It startles me very quickly.
So now, here's the thing. Now we go to effect. So now you feel imbalanced, and you alluded to this earlier. Now let's deal with this spiritual realm part, right?
Right.
What happens now once you're imbalanced and you don't know what to do? So you feel out of sorts. What happens now? And when you feel out of sorts, you might start to have thoughts like not good thoughts, right?
Right.
Especially when they're about yourself. Like if you're thinking that you're dumb or you're ugly or who knows what else, but they're not positive thoughts about yourself. Those are, I don't like those ones for sure. I don't like any of them, but those ones are really tough. What happens at that point from the spiritual realm?
Well,
or
typically,
in the spiritual realm.
typically that's when what I call influencers come around, and you could have spirits around you influencing you, or entities trying to influence you to do other things that are non-beneficial, or to keep you in that state of where you are in pain or feeling a certain way.
Depressed,
Mhm.
upset, angry.
Right?
So once you get there, because everything is energy, including us,
Mm-hmm.
that's when we say that your energy level drops or your frequency drops. And anything that's negative always has a low frequency, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if your energy level drops or your frequency drops to that of some type of negative energy or frequency that then can influence you, then it attaches to you.
Right.
Again, it goes back to like attracts like. Is that how you go? The same?
Yes. Uh-huh.
So now all of a sudden you get even angrier, or the point is you start the down spiral continues.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what advice do you have for anyone that's watching this video that find themselves in a situation where they feel out of sorts or they feel imbalanced?
Well, I always go immediately to saying the violet flame decree. And we have a video about that, how to say it, when to say it, how long to say it, everything. So you covered in that video as far as I know. And that's the first thing I tell them to do, because the violet flame will help start burning off a lot of that and help to raise the frequency again.
And if they ever request help from 190 Vision, then they're provided additional tools.
Right, send us a message if you're already working with us, or if you want to work with us, submit the consent form. But once you let us know, this happened, this is how I'm feeling, I need some help. Help is given to you, You'll be checked, and whatever work is required to be done will be done to help you.
Right, and the best part now is we have other individuals that have been trained now. So it's not just us. We have other individuals now that are helping. So we can help more individuals than we normally could. So this is it's a fantastic journey for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And as they're learning more, they're helping more people heal and clear. So if you feel imbalanced, we hope the one tip will help.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want more tools, then just contact 190 Vision.
That's right.
And how do they do that? Oh, I guess that's part of the video, the closing part.
Yes, 190vision.com. They'll see it soon.
So you'll see it in the ending part. All right. Anything else, son, before we close it out?
Just that this is a basic, I'm calling it basic, understanding of being out of balance or imbalance, having imbalance. There can be a lot more to it depending on what takes place, and that's something that we check for on different levels of your being and make sure we can help you to the best of our abilities. So we'll see you soon. Remember to subscribe and like this video. Join the Facebook group 190 Vision to connect with others on the same journey. Get help by visiting our website 190vision.com. Support the 190 Vision mission by clicking on the donate button, which is at the bottom of each page of our website.